Hi, this is Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com, and today we're going to take a look at the new and improved Apple iPad 2 tablet computer.
So here's the iPad 2 itself. Let's take a quick look at it. Hardware is very similar to the original iPad. Smoother lines, it's a little bit more rounded here. It's definitely thinner. Still a large area around the outside of the display, same 9.7-inch display. Very, very similar, even the way it feels. It's the same kind of anodized aluminum back on it. Quite nice, quite attractive. Not all that different from the original, which I have right here. Let's put these two devices facing each other so you can get a look at the new change in profile. You can see the new device, the iPad 2 up here on top, is significantly thinner and definitely has a more rounded profile. Doesn't have some of the, I'm not going to say sharp, but angled bevels and corners and stuff that the original had. In terms of layout of controls, very similar. You see we've got volume on the left-hand edge with the sliding switch that can be set for a rotation lock or for mute. Notice the camera though, the original obviously has no camera, and not only does this one have a camera here on the rear, it of course also has a forward-facing camera right up here for FaceTime and other applications like that. Home button's still at the bottom, and you can still double tap it to access the task switcher. Instead of the speaker ports you have on the original iPad down here at the bottom, you now have a larger grill area on the iPad 2, so even when you're holding it down here at the edge, it's more likely you're going to get the sound out that you need. Same port as before for charging and everything like that. One thing I've noticed though with the new device, the new iPad has much sharper feeling controls. The volume control and the slider switch here for orientation lock or mute have a real edge to them that catches on things here. Assuming they'll wear down after a bit of time, but the original just didn't have as sharp of a cut on those controls there. Of course, now there's more than one tablet on the market right now, so here we have the iPad 2 compared to another device on Verizon Wireless. This is the Motorola Xoom. Both are connected to Verizon's 3G data network right now. You can see significant differences in the way the displays look. The Xoom's display has a yellow tint to it, just not as bright. Both displays are at maximum brightness right now. Both browsers function quite well. No flash support in the iPad 2 display, but it does support HTML5, so you still have embedded YouTube videos and things like that. Here are the two devices facing each other so you can compare thickness. In terms of total size, the devices are quite close. You can see the Zoom's a little bit longer, sticks out here on the edges. When I flip it around, you can also see that the iPad is wider as well. So in general, very close. Pull up the browser here again and just switch to a different tab. So I've been running a couple of JavaScript animation tests and stuff, just trying to get a feel for how much faster the browser is, because the iPad 2 has an improved JavaScript engine and it also has a dual-core processor. In my experience, maybe 15%, 20% faster for most things. An improvement, but definitely not the doubling in speed we were expecting. But nonetheless, still a very good browsing experience. Go back and we'll jump into the mail application, and there's support for all sorts of different mail systems. We've got support for Exchange and IMAP, POP, all that kind of stuff. So right here, this is Exchange. It's actually a Gmail account being pulled in through Exchange, so I get access to contacts and calendar appointments. Not as good as the built-in Gmail client you'd see in an Android device, but still pretty solid. I'll show you the Gmail support here. Now, if you configure as a normal Gmail account, you get access to notes and calendar, but not contacts. So that's why I recommend using it as an Exchange system, so you can pull in all your contacts. Back to the home screen, and I'll pull up that contacts just so you can see it. Here's the address book, contacts, and little index tabs along the left-hand side here. YouTube client. My son was playing this earlier. One thing I noticed is the speakers seem to be a fair bit better on this than they are on the original iPad. Google Maps, as we've seen on prior devices. Cool interface trick there. Multi-touch zooming throughout the device. So here's the App Store. Apple's App Store is curated, meaning that everything's organized by people as opposed to the Android market, which is a little more automated. Apple's App Store is definitely a little bit better organized as a result. Game Center. Bunch of different games here. I'm going to play this one called Overkill. Here's the iPod application. All the music is. Take a quick look at settings. Pretty nicely organized. Of course, in addition to 3G data, this also has Wi-Fi. Notification from Game Center. Other applications with push notifications, they'd show up here as well. Brightness settings, wallpapers. Most of the major applications have their settings here as well. Calendar. Have my Gmail data being pulled down here, so you can see since I have my Gmail account pulled in as a Gmail account and Exchange, I'm getting duplication here. You'll notice that more on the agenda view here. Very nice looking calendar. Month and week views as well, color coded. And just because it's a particularly nice application, I've loaded up the ABC player, which is great for watching ABC television shows. Very nice interface, definitely tablet friendly. Just a fine example of how you can develop for a tablet form factor and really be successful. Here's the photo viewer. See the different albums. Forward-facing camera on this device, so good for self-portraits, although I don't think you really need to see those of me. Photos I shot Dallas last year. Photos really come across nice on the device. Of course, these were shot with an SLR. They weren't shot with the iPad itself. I'll show you the camera in a little bit. Videos. Don't have too many loaded up here. This is the A-Team movie. Again, good quality. A wider screen aspect ratio that would be better for movies, but still looks really good. However, this video was indeed shot with the iPad 2. As is the case with most tablets, it's a little bit awkward to hold and shoot a video with something this large, but you can see the quality is still pretty good and the audio definitely comes across nicely. Little film strip type view here for jumping around makes it easier to find the spot you're looking for. Okay, so here we're on a FaceTime chat with my friend Doug. Doug, what kind of device are you using on your end?
I am using an iPhone 4, so
Okay.
I'm connected to Wi-Fi using an iPhone 4.
All right, Wi-Fi connection. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how we can swap the camera views around. You notice the little flip there, and now he's looking at a cabinet. Are you able to switch to the other camera on your FaceTime, Doug?
Sure.
And then you can see the flip as well. So now he's pointing at his computer, moving it around. It's really slick how you can switch back and forth like that. So here's the camera application. You can see we can use either the forward-facing or the rear-facing camera. Just quickly tap there and you shoot a quick photo, switch back to the other camera, shoot one of myself, and switch over to video mode with this little switch here. You can record a portrait mode video, which is kind of neat, so we'll move it around a little bit like this, and then we can play it back. Works very well. And naturally it works in landscape mode too, just like that. Not fantastic quality on the camera. The videos look pretty decent, but the still photos can be pretty pixelated looking. And that's my quick look at the Apple iPad 2. I'm Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com.